Hey everybody, in this creepy tutorial we're going to be showing you how you can add in 2D avatars into your 3D scene and interact with them using triggers and all this fun stuff. So just to show you an example of what we're going to be doing, I'm going to start this project that we have. This is also available on our site.
Please help me.
So it looks like we should probably try and help that girl, even though she disappeared. So this in this project we're going to be kind of walking around. We're going to see various ghosts in certain areas. You can see.
Who are you? You're not welcome here. Leave now.
So notice how this guy's eyes are kind of following you around. This is the look at feature that we have with CrazyTalk plugin. And this is of course the 2D avatar that's following us around. He'll fade away, and then let's go further in here.
Have you seen my daughter? The nurse said she would bring her right back.
That's a little bit creepy. Alright, let's see if we can go over here.
Help me. Please help me.
So, you know, any normal person might go back right now, but let's go ahead.
I will love you forever.
And then we have this skeleton with the beautiful voice there. And...
Hello? A little lost? You look lost.
Alright, so basically all of these ghosts are being, and this is where we end the project right here. So let's just go ahead and we can just restart this. And let's enter exit play mode. So basically this project here is what we're going to be working on. We're going to be adding separate 2D avatars into our scene. Every ghost that you saw in that project was a 2D avatar exported from CrazyTalk using the CrazyTalk plugin. And you can, you obviously saw the look at feature and all that fun stuff as well. Okay, so for the first step, we're actually going to import in an actor into Unity. So we need to create that actor in CrazyTalk. So let's go up to the actor tab here and to our model folder. And I'm going to import in this husband dude here. Let's double click on him. And there he is. And I need to add a voice script to him. So let's go ahead to the voice script tab, to the practice audio folder, and we'll just choose this cold shivering one. And we can choose lip sync only, which is just the lip sync. Listen mode rather is no lip sync, but there is head movement, and talk mode includes lip sync, head movement, and facial expression as well. So let's just choose talk mode, and this will create some auto motion for us.
It's really cold now.
Alright, so there you see the head movement and the lip sync. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add on to that using the face puppet tool up here. So let's select that, and there's a number of different profiles I can use. For example, like this scared one. You know, you can see the scared look on his face. I'm just going to choose this regular one, and then I'm going to actually reset all of the facial features and only select the eyeballs, because I only want to puppet the eyeballs in this case. So you can see I can do that separately. Woo. Let's go ahead and record that. I'm going to just try to do some jerky eye movement in this case.
It's really cold now. I need to find some shelter.
Okay, so there we go. Looks fine and dandy. Now all I want to do now is just go ahead and save this project. We'll save it as, how about Shivering Dude? And go ahead and save that. And then I want to export all the stuff. So let's go ahead to the CrazyTalk Interactive Plugin right here. And make sure we have an idle motion. We do. We have mail.ctidle. You can also click and drag it from here after clicking Show Content Manager. And make sure that you have Export Model, Script, and Motion selected. And this stuff on the right you don't have to worry about. That's basically only if you are exporting to a web format. So what we're going to do now is we're going to import this guy into the Unity scene that I have loaded up. And we're going to replace one of those ghosts that you saw earlier. Now this Unity scene is actually going to be in the third-person perspective, just to show you a different kind of scenario where you might want to do this sort of stuff. So once this finishes exporting, I'll go ahead and import the project file, the interactive project file, into my Unity project. So that's all finished. Let's go back to our desktop here, and we have this tutorial test folder. And just to recap all of these different files that are created, we have this one, which is the idle file. You can see the file info down there. Also by the single motion line indicator there. This is the HTML file. We don't have to worry about that. This one is the CrazyTalk 7 project file. This is not the interactive project file. It's a larger size, you can see. And this one's the Shivering Dude mesh, rather the model file. So that includes the mesh and the material and all that stuff. And this is the motion file. And this one's the project file. This is what we're going to be using. And then, of course, the script file down here. So let's go ahead and take this project file. Let's actually go back into Unity here, and then we'll bring up our Explorer window. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag this project file into my scene. So let's go ahead and do that into the temp folder. And then let's go ahead and just close this Explorer window down. So now we have this Shivering Dude project file. But let's go ahead and run through this project really quickly first. I'm going to enter play mode. And I've used Unity Chan as our third person character here. You can see we can just...
Who are you? You're not welcome here.
So you can see the look at is still functional. The guy's kind of following us around as we hop from side to side. And let's just go back over here and then around this way.
Have you seen my daughter?
And this character here is just the short script. And she fades away. Now that's the one we're going to be replacing first off. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Now, of course, we want to go to the CrazyTalk plugin over here and log in. And once we're done connecting, let's go to Load Actor. And let's maybe make this a little bit larger so we can see more of it. And we just select a layer. So let's go ahead and add our own layer. And let's call this layer Shivering Dude, just to keep the naming consistent. Shivering Dude. Okay, and then back to CrazyTalk. Select our layer Shivering Dude, and then we want to add our project file into here. So let's select our interactive project file, click and drag it over here. Now this is just the simplest, fastest way to add a 2D avatar into your 3D scene. So it's importing in all the wave data, all the material data, and all that stuff. And then what we want to do is we want to ensure that this character does not have the look at mode on. Because I actually created those animation, or the eye animation earlier in CrazyTalk, and I don't want the look at mode to override that animation. I want to just have him kind of looking around nervously. So we can choose to show and hide the actor here. And I want to make sure that look at mode here, in this case, is turned to off. And that's really the only thing we need to worry about. And the motion is already there because we imported in that project file. So let's go ahead and rename this CT root object again. Let's rename it to Shivering Dude Geo for game object. And let's go ahead and take a look at him. So I'm going to just press the F key to focus in on him, and there he is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and let's just pan over here. So what I want to do is just take a look at preview his motion. So let's go ahead and preview that. Alright, so you can see my eye motion has remained intact and everything like that. So what I need to do now is get this guy into the place where the mirror lady is. We'll call her the mirror lady. And so I'm going to twirl down the avatar folder here, and we're going to take this Shivering Dude game object and parent him to the mirror ghost. And this is pretty much the fastest way to get him up there. So let's go ahead to the inspector then and right click on the transform, reset position, right click again and reset rotation. And then let's press the F hotkey, and we should see him on the other side of this background guy here, right over here. And there he is in the mirror. And now he may need to be rescaled a little bit, so let's use the R hotkey and just kind of scale him down there to his normal size. That looks fine. And then we can use the W hotkey and get him into position. Let's get him into, I don't know, that looks fine, but we need to maybe bring him back a little bit further into that mirror. So let's try something like that. There you go. And there's a bit of spots on the mirror there you can see with the material, so we don't have to worry about that. Just so you know what they are, that's in the material mesh. And I think that's a fine and dandy position for our character. Maybe his head's still a little bit fat. Let's just sneak him down there a little bit. Alright, that's fine. And then we have to go to the backgrounds, of course, and remove the backgrounds in this case. The API, let's remove the background as well. And then the RL camera, we want to disable this camera. We want to keep the main camera on, so we're able to see our character in the view. And now in this case, we need to go to, instead of the first person, the main camera, we actually have to go to under Unity Chan, because the camera is, it's a third person game here. And let's go to the main camera, and make sure that we, in the culling mask, we select our layer Shivering Dude, so the main camera is able to pick that up. And then let's go one more time back to our Shivering Dude game object, into the CrazyTalk tab here, into the load actor, And let's make our actor disappear. So what we want to do is we want to make our actor appear when we hit a certain trigger. So now we're going to get into the trigger section. First of all, let's actually take this shivering dude and unparent him from that mirror ghost there. So give him his own little section here. We can even just rename this, put a 7 underscore before just to keep the naming, keep things organized right there. And now let's take a look at the triggers. So let's twirl up the avatars there and open up the triggers, and we have this trigger for Mirror Woman. Let's take a look at the trigger for Mirror Woman. You can see that there is a number of, there's a script, the trigger script right here. We're not going to go into the trigger script in this tutorial, but basically it's your general trigger script that will trigger something when your character collides with it. We can open up the box collider and we see that trigger is selected, so make sure you have that. If you want to see where the actual trigger is, you can just select this mesh render, and we can see this big kind of gray box right in front of the mirror. So anytime my character steps into this area, that's when the event is going to trigger. And we need to replace this script with the mirror ghost. We need to replace that with our current character. So let's turn off this mesh render for now. We don't want that. And let's open up our character one more time. So avatar, shivering dude game object. And what I need to do is in this CT API slot, I need to go ahead and take this dude and bring him over there. And so you can see that we've replaced that character now. So now when our main character hits that trigger, it's going to trigger this dude. He's going to pop up and do his animation. Now the motion he's going to have, I believe, is, let's make sure here, shivering dude underscore motion. Okay, so let's go back to that trigger. Mirror Woman, whoops, the inspector, and shivering dude underscore motion. There we go. So that's about all there is to it. Let's see if that works out. Let's go ahead and enter play mode. And he should pop up when we have him, when our character pops or walks by.
You're not welcome.
Alright, so we have that guy. Let's just ignore him for now.
Leave.
And let's walk over and see if this guy comes up.
It's really cold now. I need to find some shelter.
Alright, so there's our character, and then he goes into his idle motion there. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Now, what I want to do now is replace the guy in the painting. And with the guy in the painting, you can see he had a look at function on, and I'm going to show you how to do the look at. Now, with that character in the painting, I'll just close down the triggers for now. Or actually, let's take a look at his trigger first. So, trigger painting ghost anim is the one that he has right here. And he has a ghost animation. You can see it's very similar to the last one we just dealt with. There is idle animation, there's a target animation, and there's a the CT API slot right there that we need to replace painting ghost with. And then we also need to replace this 3D face show and hide script down here. So if our character walks out of the area during that time, then he will disappear or reappear. Now let's take a look at our character as well. So again, the trigger, let's just close that down. Oh, there we go. Close it down right there. And in avatar, let's select our painting ghost right here. And let's take a look at the painting ghost character. Now he has one extra thing. If you can notice at the very bottom, he has a look at target script attached to him. So let's just open that up. Let's double click the look at target script. That's going to open MonoDevelop here. It's a fairly simple script actually. It's just using a couple of the API commands. Set lookat mode, target tracking, and the target. That's going to actually open up a field for us to put a target in there. And in this case, the target is Unity Chan, of course. And then we have a lookat strength. This can be any value between 0 and 2. And the lookat delay can also be any value between 0 and 2. This is how long it takes your character to react when your main character moves. The painting to react when the main character moves, sorry. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this down for now. We don't need to worry about that anymore. And let's go about replacing this this painting ghost. Now I'm just going to replace it with the same guy. So we're going to go down to the assets, and I'm going to show you the process that I went through to add this character to the screen. So in case you're wondering, down here in this folder here, the my script and the first person, we have the look at target right here. Let's make the inspector a little bit smaller. There we have that script that we just looked at. That's where it is. And in the character folder, that's where we have our character. So you can see we have Unity Chan right there. Let's go into the ghost folder and take a look at our painting ghost folder. Now I'm going to actually expand this a little bit just so we can see the file extensions that appear down here. And I'm going to select this paint talk motion rather. You can see it has a UT script suffix on it for the file type. Now anything that has a U in front of it is compatible with the Unity plugin. If it doesn't have that, then it's not. So this one is also a UCT script, or rather UCT script, yep. And down here we have the model. So now take a look at this model. It's paintingghost.ct7 model. If it's compatible with Unity, it would be paintingghost.uct model. So basically this has the wrong suffix, the wrong file type. So let's try and create our own custom layer here in the CrazyTalk plugin again and see what happens. So I'm going to go to Load Actor again, and let's create this painting dude, we'll call him painting dude, okay? And let's go back to CrazyTalk, select our painting dude layer. Now normally you would be able to import any model file in here. It doesn't necessarily have to have animation. You can just import in the model file by itself. So let's take a look at that paintingghost.ct model. And let's make sure we have our layer selected first. There we go, painting dude. And take this model file, and you can see we can't drag it into that field for some reason. So let's take a look. I'm going to right click on this and show it in the Explorer. And now you can see that we indeed have the CrazyTalk model file. All of these have interactive on them. This one only has model file. So let's go ahead back to CrazyTalk here, and I'm going to start a new project. And let's open up that Explorer window again. And I'm going to actually import in this model right here. So I'm going to click and drag. And so you can see this guy imports directly into CrazyTalk. So what I want to do is I want to re-export this guy. You can see if I play back, there's no animation. There's just an idle animation on him. That's just with any character model you import in. Let's go ahead and go up to File and Save as Project. And let's save this one as Painting Dude. Now the reason we're changing the name is because with the previous character, it'll still have all those resource files in the Unity scene, and that can cause some confusion. So we want to delete the old one and bring in the new one. So we're going to use a different name, Painting Dude, and save that, and interactive export, and make sure we have export model script motion selected, and select export. And of course the tutorial test folder. Now actually in this case it doesn't really matter if we have a script and a motion, because we already have those script and a motion from the same character already in Unity as you saw before. Let's just make sure we select this folder here. We'll replace index.html. That's fine with me. And so after this exports, our next item of business is to import in Painting Dude and replace Painting Guy. I forget what the name was, but the new one's going to be Painting Dude anyways. So let's go ahead and after this exports, I'm going to replace him, and then I'm going to add in that lookat script just to show you how the lookat works. So let's go back to Unity here. Actually, this folder here, let's go back to our desktop and to the tutorial tests folder. And then we have Painting Dude right here. And into Unity there. And what I want to do is make sure that we go to my test folder. And let's just close this down so we have more room. Alright, there we go, temp folder. I'm going to just import it into the temp folder here. Shivering Dude, and this time I'm going to import in just the model, interactive model file. So let's take a look at what this does. So move it over to the side a little bit, Shivering Dude model, and import him into that temp folder. And oops, I think there we go, Shivering Dude. Oh, sorry, we imported in the wrong guy there. So let's go back to the Explorer folder here. We want to import in Painting Dude, not Shivering Dude. Painting Dude right here, and import him into the temp folder. No worries, we can just go ahead and go back to our layer here, Painting Dude, and we'll drag that Painting Dude model file on there, and that should work just fine. So now we're only importing in the model without animation, but we already have those animations available like I showed you in the previous folder. So once this imports, you can see that indeed I did import in Painting Dude. It's a model. So you can see a UCT model right there, and he imported into CT root 0 there, of course. Let's just rename that to keep the naming consistent. We'll call him, maybe I shouldn't use dude so much. We'll just call him Painting Dude anyways. And let's take a look at him. So I'm going to press the F key there and Now again, I'm just going to remove that background. Let's go down here, background in the inspector, and remove it. And RL camera, same thing. We don't want the local camera. And that should be fine. So let's just pan around here. Look at this guy from the front. And he has no animation, so if we select him and we go to the CrazyTalk plugin, you can see that we have the ability to look at, to hide, show or hide the actor again. Let's keep the look at mode on for now. Let's go over to the load motion. You can see there's actually no animations here. So if I, so I really have no option to preview anything. And if I played the scene, he would just be kind of standing there with a blank look on his face. So let's go ahead and align him where we want him to be. Let's parent him to the painting ghost right here, and then let's go to the inspector and do the old reset position, reset transform, or reset rotation rather, and then we'll focus on him. And there he is. He's on the other side of the wall there. And then let's go ahead and give him his own painting dude, parent him to the avatar there, and then we can go ahead to the painting ghost and just disable him so he won't appear. And then we have painting dude right here. We can resize him to whatever we like. We want him a little bit larger. That'll be fine right there. And so what do we want to do? We want to add some animation to this guy. So let's have the CrazyTalk, and in load motion here, I can actually just select here. So I already have these motions loaded in, and I can choose the painthead talk motion and the painthead idle motion, and just apply those. And that will load those two motions into my character right there, and they will appear in my animation list. There we go. So now we have those two motions available, and if I wanted to preview one of them...
Who are you? You're not welcome here. Leave.
Alright, so there we go, and the idle motion, that's your idle motion right there. And so this guy also has his own trigger, so if we go to the painting ghost right here, and we go to the trigger actually, we have the painting ghost anim trigger right here. Let's take a look at where this trigger is. So I'm going to just zoom out a little bit and open up the mesh renderer. You can see that box area there is where our trigger is. So that's where our character is going to walk when we want the first ghost to appear. So let's just release that. And let's go back to our avatar here. And shivering dude, oh no, painting dude rather. But we want to make sure that we have the triggers selected, of course. And what I want to do is replace all of these different fields from painting ghost to painting dude. So let's go ahead and select that painting dude over to the CT API slot right there. The gameplay remains at Unity. And then we also want the lerp target and the CT API here to be painting dude. So let's click and drag that to both areas. And then for the motions are called, if I select it, we can actually just go here and select everything here and copy it. That makes things a little bit easier rather than memorizing it and replacing it. So talk motion, let's go ahead and to the painting ghost anim and replace that motion with the one that we had right there. And then same thing with the character again. Let's find the idle motion right here and just select the text and copy that. And back to the trigger, the painting ghost trigger, at the inspector again, and paste that idle motion right here. Alright, so we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and make sure we have the mirror ghost. Painting ghost is already disabled. Painting dude, let's make sure that he is invisible to start off. So we're going to release the show actor. Let's see what happens then when we play back our project. Oh, we did forget to change the camera, the main camera. So let's go back here. Sorry about that. And let's go back to the Unity Chan and main camera. Of course, we need to change our culling mask to include the painting dude layer. And now let's play back and see what happens. Alright, so we have Unity Chan walking along.
Who are you? You're not welcome here.
So you can see he's kind of just staring off into the distance there. It does still look a little bit scary, but he's not following us. His eyes are not following us. So what I need to do is actually apply that look at script to him, and that's simple enough. Let's go to the painting ghost character here. and right here, and look at target. Oops. Let's find that look at target in our assets folder here. You can see it's right there. So let's go back to select our painting dude and the painting dude API, and let's make sure that that look at target is added to him as well. There we go. So look at target. Right now the target is none. We actually need to click and drag the Unity Chan character into that target area, into that target slot. So there we go, and that should be just fine. Let's see what happens now. Alright, so we're kind of walking along, hopping along rather, and here's our character.
You're not welcome.
Let's take a look at his eyes.
Leave now.
So that is basically the look at thing, and that's how you apply a look at to your CrazyTalk animator, or rather CrazyTalk 7 avatars within Unity. It's just that simple script using the API, and that's about all there is to it. So let's go out of play mode here. And so that's basically how you can add multiple characters. I'm going to go one more time into play mode here just because it's kind of cooler. And that's basically how you can add multiple characters into your scene, and you know, using the look at feature and all that stuff, and you know, you can have this same character here on a separate layer.
Really cold now.
And that's what all there is to it. So let's just exit play mode one final time here. So hopefully you learned something in this tutorial about, you know, how to use the look at feature, how to apply multiple characters into your scene, into your 3D scene, or rather multiple 2D avatars into your 3D scene, and how you can use trigger scripts to kind of trigger these avatars to appear at different times. And there's lots of other tutorials about how to create these trigger scripts. They're fairly general, so I encourage you to check those out if you're unfamiliar with triggers. But that's about it for this tutorial, so hopefully you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.